What do Falcons do? Rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, a show we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general, the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, lifelong sports fan and the Golden Hard Dog. Today, I just wanted to talk about a rumor real quick. First off, there's some breaking news. Saquon Barkley has signed a one-year deal that's above the value of the franchise tag, so he probably will be playing this year if you're looking at fantasy. Somebody that you can probably count on. Josh Jacobs has yet to sign a deal. So again, fantasy seasons are starting to come around here, particularly best ball leagues with things like Underdog or FanDuel, just some of the daily stuff. I'm not sponsored by any of them, but again, I enjoy that stuff. Second piece of info, I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the 2023 season, and any subscriptions that you can drop would help, just to help me reach more people and grow. But the thing I want to talk about today is Nyheim Hines is out for the 2023 season with the Buffalo Bills. He ended up having an injury in his lower body, and he will be out for the entirety of this season. So that leaves an interesting conundrum for the Bills, in that they do need somebody on special teams and as kind of an extra backup piece in their running back and potentially wide receiver room. So the Falcons have been linked as a possible trade partner with the Buffalo Bills for Cordarelle Patterson. Now, Patterson has been with the Falcons for 2 years. He was originally brought on as a wide receiver, was moved to the running back position, and ended up with, I think it was like 1,200 yards combined his first year in that role. He was already about 30 at the time, and then last year he took a little bit of a step back, but still had a fairly productive year overall at 31 years old, predominantly as our wide receiver one, who eventually took a back seat to Tyler Algier. And then again, he really has not been a receiver so much as he has been a receiving option in the backfield. Bijan should take all of those snaps away from him. Tyler Algier is a solid running back 2 or 1B punch, if you want to call it that. A lot of people think Bijan's going to come in and automatically take 75 to 75% of snaps. That's just not realistic. Bijan is probably going to be playing a 60-40 split, with Bijan being the primary and Tyler Algier getting about 30 to 35, and probably Huntley getting mixed in as a younger, cheaper running back option once he's healthy, to sprinkle in about 5 to 10% of the carries there. So Atlanta has a solid three-headed rushing game, and then we also have Avery Williams in the depth chart as well as special teams and as a potential fourth member there. So the question becomes, what do we do with Cordarelle Patterson? He doesn't appear to want to move back out to that wide receiver position. We do have Mac Hollins in the wide receiver 2 role. We have Scotty Miller at the wide receiver 3 role. Cordarelle would be competing with those guys for touches in that role. So Cordarelle at 32 years old, aging, with a little bit more money on his contract than some of the other guys, makes a lot of sense to potentially move on from. Now, I don't know what we could get for a 32-year-old running back, special teams, wide receiver, gadget player. I really don't know what we could get for him. I think it'd be looking at like a 6th or a 7th round pick in this coming year's draft, which usually don't amount to much of anything other than practice squad guys, and occasionally some gem on in the secondary, or maybe somebody, in the late rounds we got Grady Jarrett, so you never know, we might end up with somebody with that kind of talent, but it's just not as common to happen. So I don't know what we could actually get for him, but if we could make a deal for somebody like maybe Khalil Shaker, I think that would be an excellent move. Their wide receiver 3, add us a little bit more depth, a young guy who was taken late in last year's draft, to potentially throw in the mix here and see if he can make a career for himself here in Atlanta. But that would be something that I think would be interesting. I do think Cordarelle, if he stays with us, he's a gadget player. He's going to have some limited roles, but he's not going to be a big-time player. He's not going to be somebody that sees a ton of playing time on the field this year unless there's an injury. And again, I just think he is taking a back seat to a younger generation. He has served a crucial role for us, keeping us competitive the last 2 years. We signed him at a time when we were incredibly strapped for cash and didn't have the budget to sign some of the bigger names in the NFL. He has been a very good, surprising player for us, and I wish him the best if he stays with us or if he goes on to greener pastures somewhere else. But that's what I think. I think it is time to move on from Cordarelle and let him go on to another place and try and get as much value as we can from him. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you just want to stick with him, let him stay on the team and retire as a Falcon? Do you feel some loyalty to him, or the fact that he's only been on the team 2 years, is he expendable to us? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. But as always, thank you for watching, and rise up.